good morning, YouTube. So I'm here to talk to you today about the S600, and we're going to do a kind of a surprise reveal here. Probably not what you're expecting, but I literally just got out of bed, and this is the moment of truth. And I wanted to do it, as always, unscripted, unrehearsed. We're going to find out together if the ABC leak is fixed or if it remains. Alright, so here we have the S600 that, as you can see, has just been continuously leaking since I bought it. It doesn't leak much. I think I went through maybe half a quart of fluid over the course of the last, it's been over a month. It looks worse than it is. I've mentioned this in a video before because this is a really thin fluid, and when it gets onto the concrete, eventually it just spreads out, and it looks way worse than it really is. So what I did today is I parked it away from where I normally would park it, right? I kept it way back on a clean spot of the driveway so we could see if something I utilized the other night actually works, and if so, then I want to recommend the product to you guys for those of you that are willing to try it. I shit you not, the leak is gone. The leak is gone. There should have been, under here, you could see right there, that's where the leak had been coming from, and directly under it there should be a damp puddle, and there's not. There's not. Okay, so I want to start out by saying, take a look at the gaps in the wheel wells. Have a close look at the wheels. Now, I know this side, I've had several people say, man, it looks like the passenger side is higher than the driver's side. Well, it absolutely is. This thing has that auto leveling system, and my driveway is not level in the slightest. It goes downhill, and it leans. Hold on, this side is leaning. Well, I guess it depends on where you stand. You can see it's cracked up. It leans this way, but up here it leans this way. So the car is doing its job leveling out. I want to show you something, and I know a lot of you are not going to be excited about this, but I have had a lot of success with BlueDevil in the past. I have used BlueDevil head gasket repair, and the BlueDevil head gasket repair has never failed me. I've put it in a lot of cars, and these are cars that I had a Mercedes E320 that I bought for $1,000, a blown head gasket. I put BlueDevil head gasket repair in it, and I know, it's mechanic in a bottle, snake oil. I've heard it before, but this stuff has always worked. So I did not know that BlueDevil made a hydraulic stop leak. I had no idea about the hydraulic stop leak at all. I was on some Mercedes-Benz forum trying to figure out where this thing could be leaking from, right? It was eating me up. I didn't want to send it to Mercedes. Firestone couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find where it was leaking. So I got on a Mercedes forum, and this guy was like, hey, I'm going to try this new product. I'm going to try this BlueDevil stop leak. And let me tell you, man, he got a lot of hate for it. He got a lot of hate. People accused him of treating a Mercedes like a Ford Escort, and I'm sure we're going to get some of those flame comments here as well. But here's the deal. You take this stuff, you put 1 ounce per quart of fluid. So I put 6 ounces in that, and then I took it for a very short drive. Now, I want to be clear about something, too. I didn't just throw some stop leak in there and hope for the best, okay? I'm going to be fully transparent about what we did here. This is the power steering filter. I replaced it, and we pumped out using this pump right here. We pumped out the fluid in the power steering pump, We replaced the filter, replaced the fluid. Now, the fluid that came out of the power steering pump looked phenomenal. Power steering fluid was in excellent condition. This is the filter for the ABC system. And this filter is nothing short of 100% clogged. I don't think the ABC has ever been serviced on this car. So, excuse me. I went with genuine Mercedes parts. I put a brand new filter, the upgraded filter, in it. And we pumped out the old fluid. And let me tell you, the old fluid was a dark gray color. So the first thing I did is I replaced the filters, pumped out the old fluid, and then I told you guys, I know I got a lot of flack for using this too instead of the OEM Mercedes brand or whatever it was, Bilstein brand, whatever. This stuff is much cheaper, and I know it's blurry there, but there we go. This stuff is much cheaper, and it is I can't even pronounce that damn name. What is it? Pentacene CHF compliant. So this stuff is certified to work with the Mercedes, and quite honestly, I've had no problem with it. So we flushed everything out, got as much of the fluid out as we could, replaced the filter, and then added 6 ounces of the BlueDevil stop leak to it. And let me tell you something, guys. I immediately took this thing out on a drive, and I noticed when I was sitting in the driveway, as I was raising and lowering the car, it was so much smoother going up and down. Used to it would jerk. You could feel like a sudden movement in the car. This time it was perfectly smooth. And then the next thing I noticed is we started it up, went and took it on a test drive. And I thrashed on this. I even got it to burn the tires. Now, burning the tires has nothing to do with the ABC fluid or the stop leak. I'm just saying I finally took it out and let her rip a little bit. I kind of thrashed on it, man. I took it over some railroad tracks that normally when I would hit these tracks, even at like 35, 40 miles an hour, you'd get a red ABC light. And it'd come on for about 2 seconds, then it would go off. I hit roads that would normally piss this car off. Like if you really just hit these roads with bumps and stuff, 40, 45 miles an hour, you would see an occasional blue light come on, ABC, and it would go off. And it'd come on and it'd go off. I took it through these same roads, and I couldn't get the damn light to come on. The first time I hit the railroad tracks at, I think, about 60, we got, for a split second, it didn't even have time to fully light up this screen here. It turned to the orange/red color for literally a fraction of a second, and it disappeared. And I was like, okay, that's to be expected. I didn't expect this to be a magic cure-all, immediate fix, not at all. But, to my surprise, as I continued hammering on it and hitting corners at high speeds, I even went so far as to put the damn thing in ABC Sport mode and get it up to 70. And ABC Sport mode used to be a mode that would cause this thing to just go berserk. I mean, ABC Sport, you didn't want to use that because you would get the lights pretty regularly. The light hasn't come on since. I mean, I hit the railroad tracks multiple times. I hit nasty roads. I've been in ABC Sport mode, and nothing I have done has brought that ABC light back on. The car raises and lowers smoothly, and I figured we'd find out this morning whether or not we had a leak. I mean, if we were just able to resolve the ABC problems with still having a slight leak that needs a hose replaced, I would have been fine with that. But to have the ABC system functioning, in my opinion, 100%, and the leak is gone, I don't know, man. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Now, I'm not going to say that the ABC system's functionality was restored by BlueDevil. I can't say that. Because the fact of the matter is, the ABC system had a very clogged filter and nasty fluid that we cleaned out. You'd be surprised what a difference some fresh fluid and a good filter will make on anything, your transmission, your engine oil circulation. You'd really be surprised. So I don't want to say that this fixed, the ABC light, but this definitely has stopped the leak. And what this stuff does is it basically rejuvenates the worn seals. So if you've got seals in those shocks or those struts that are wearing out, it'll rejuvenate them. Seals that are wearing out in your pump, they'll rejuvenate it. And I think that the leak we had may have been coming from a seal on the back of the pump. And honest to God, I mean, literally, it was within 20 minutes of putting this stuff in and going for a drive. The ABC system was functioning perfectly, and I didn't see any leaks last night, but the real test was to leave it overnight, and there's no leaks this morning. Stuff was $27. You can't beat it. The filter right here, Mercedes part number 031846101. That was like $35, $37. And what we have now is, you can see before the puddle, and then you can see after there's nothing. So I'm very happy with this. And for those of you that are going to say, it's BS, it doesn't work, it's not a permanent fix, hey, you know what? You might be right, but I have seen people that have used this that have never had another problem out of their vehicle again. And not just vehicles, garden equipment, tractors. I've seen people that have used this stuff, and they have gone years without any other issue. And the guy that used it on his Mercedes, on the Mercedes-Benz form, he drove that car and drove that car and drove that car, and he never had another issue. He came back and checked in pretty regularly, and he never had another issue out of his Mercedes-Benz leaking. And his was a pretty significant leak. He said he was leaking about a quart a day. So that was a massive leak. So this is not a sponsored video at all, but I will put a link in the description to this BlueDevil hydraulic stop leak, because I can guarantee you it works, because this thing has been leaking for over a month in my driveway, and for the first time ever since I've owned it, it is dry as a bone underneath now. That's amazing. That makes me really happy. Next, I want to discuss the headlights. I've had a lot of you tell me I need to go get these headlights cleaned and just leave them alone. Guys, these headlights are cleaned. They are. They've been sanded. I sanded them. I have polished them. This is as clean as these headlights are ever going to get. I think a lot of you have a misconception that these headlights are supposed to be clear. They're not. These headlights from the factory were never clear. That's why if you want to upgrade them, you upgrade them to the clear headlights, all right? These headlights were never clear. This is what they're supposed to look like. I know. So let's talk about what happened to the other headlights. I sent them back. The guy does not have the proper headlights for this car. It's sad but true. So now I'm to a point where we either leave these headlights alone and just be happy with them, or there's another company that sells a set for $100 more, and it does have the self-leveling motors and everything in them, so it'll match right up. It'll work exactly the way these do. It's like $449 for the pair, which is a good deal. And I'm thinking about going that route, but I'm also considering leaving them alone. Now that we got that ABC system worked out, I'm just stoked about that. I can't even tell you. The next step, I think, is to send this car to Auto Spa LLC and have them do the paint correction. And maybe if we're lucky, we can get some video footage of them performing the paint correction on this car. Now, there's a few spots that we're not going to be able to really do anything with. We've got rust bubbles down here. Luckily, it does not seem to affect the whole door severely, but there's some tiny bubbling here. And this is the worst of it. Let's see if we can focus that. Yeah, this is the worst of it. Through here, and then here. Now, it's not through. I can poke it. I'm sure it could be fixed. I don't think that's something I'm going to really worry about. But what I do want to resolve is you probably can't... Yeah, you can see it. There's a lot of just scratches, and I think they're superficial. I don't think... Yeah, when I put my fingers on them and scratch it, I don't feel any resistance. So I think all of this is just on the surface. I mean, it's... Let's see if we can get a good angle here. Right there. Look right there into the paint. You see that? See how scratched up it is? I think the majority of this can be brought back out. But I think this car, it's been good to me, you know. Considering I paid $1,680 for this thing, I think it deserves to have the paint brought back to as good as we can do it, right? Obviously, paint correction is not going to fix this, and it's not going to fix that, and it probably won't fix a lot of this scratching right here. There we go. You can definitely see that pretty clear. But I think overall, it'll give the car a much deeper, glossy look. I think the car deserves it. I do. Somebody did some scratch repair there. They did not do a good job. We got a dent here that's definitely, this is just ugly, man. I'm sure you could see how you got a sharp dent right there, and then it just kind of goes out here. That's ugly. That's just ugly. I'm sure it could be PDR'd. We got a slight ding here. Wish the focus would get a little better. Slight ding here. Somebody tried to do some touch-ups there. I mean, there's some little spots, but be realistic, ladies and gentlemen. This car is a 2001, all right? So what do you really expect from it? It's a 2001. It was obviously parked for a significant amount of time, and then it sat at Copart. So, yeah, it is what it is. There you go, guys and gals. I guess comment below. Tell me what you think. I'm using my Galaxy Note 9, so if the camera looks different or the focus isn't doing so good automatically, using a different camera. Tell me what you think. Do you think we should send it down to Brian at Auto Spot LLC and get some paint correction work done on it? Do you think we should replace those headlights with the newer model chrome clear ones? I don't want to sell it, guys. I don't. Now that it's riding so much better and it's not leaking, I feel like I got too good of a deal on this. I think, I'm not going to give you numbers yet, but I think estimated, I might have $3,000 in this car, and that's after paying for the paint correction and after paying for the new headlights. I think maybe $3,000, $3,100 would be approximately what I have into this car. So what do you think I should do? Do you think we should send it in for paint correction? Do you think we should get those headlights replaced with the clear newer ones? I'm not going to ask if you think I should keep it, because I'm already real torn on that. This is one of those cars that I've grown to just fall in love with. I've got a Corvette, which is great and it's fun, but this has become quite literally the daily driver. This is the family car. Like, this is what Jessica and me and everybody else, we hop in this and we go, because the Corvette doesn't fit us all and the other cars are never here. This has become our reliable daily driver. Doesn't matter if we're going on a highway trip or what, this car always goes, and it always gets looks. So I'm real hesitant to sell it. But money talks, right? I guess that's what it comes down to. Money talks. I could use the money. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to sell it. What I want from you guys is just tell me what you think. Should we get the paint correction done? Because I think the car deserves it. I really do. And do you think we should just stick with these headlights? Personally, I think they look fine. I don't see anything wrong with them, but the clear chrome ones look a lot better. Do you think it's worth $449 to replace those headlights? Or should we just stick with what's on it? And then just comment that below, man. Give me this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. I certainly appreciate it. You guys are the reason I get to continue doing what I'm doing. You guys help me, by watching these videos. By watching these videos, I continue to do bigger and better things. At least that's the goal. And I think eventually we'll get there. We're about to cross 80,000 subscribers. Thanks to all of you guys for that. I appreciate all of you. Stay safe out there, folks. I will catch you very soon in the next one.